views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hey there, it's time for the Bronx Buzz. This is BronxNet's program where we talk to journalists, writers, sometimes photographers, filmmakers, authors, and anybody really involved in Bronx media. Give you some insight as to what they're thinking about as they go put stuff out that we all ingest in the borough of the Bronx. This evening, great show. We have one of my favorite photographers, artists, entrepreneurs of an art center on City Island with us, and also an author of this book called Pounding the Rock, and he's a high school basketball teacher. Two people who demand our respect, and let's start off with my good buddy Ron Terner from the Focal Point Gallery on City Island. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me here, Gary.
So I'm going to do the drum roll. Nothing dramatic here, but it is 45 years. Yeah. Any good venture for 45 years deserves respect. Not only an art gallery in a small community. Congratulations, I guess.
Thank you. It's hard to believe 45 years already.
45 years. Tell me about when it started, how it started, and let's give the address. And if you haven't been to the Focal Point Gallery, you got to go. What's the address?
It's 321 City Island Avenue.
Right there, and
of course, it's
downtown.
in the Bronx.
The Bronx.
And I opened up in 1974.
Wow.
Right out of photography school. I had a dream to open up a gallery to show my artwork, my photography, and then shortly afterwards to show other people's artwork.
Looking back 45 years from when you started that, do you look at it and say, gee, this worked out incredibly well, or, well, it's good, and I know it's long lasting, which nobody can deny. Did the dream come true, or do you still, like any artist, you say, I got to do more, there's more to do?
There's always more to do, but yes, the dream came true and is still coming true.
The dream of what? What was the goal?
To show my work and then to show other artists' work, and I'm still doing that after 45 years.
Among the many things that I would say I like, but I love about the Focal Point Gallery is you bring in artists from everywhere. Mm-hmm. There's a children's art show. Tell me about all the different shows. And it's not one, it's every month. It's something else. You're a busy guy.
That's how I get my exercise, going up and down that ladder, hanging the shows. I put aside September for a one-person show, which is my work, that to officially celebrate the 45 years or the anniversary show. But otherwise, I open up the gallery to any artist who wants to show their work. I put out a call every month for artists to bring in their work, and I don't turn anybody away. I feel if you're brave enough to let people
vulnerable
see your work,
enough,
right, exactly,
invulnerable,
then your work should be shown. And using social media now, I put out that call, and I get work from all over the Bronx and sometimes
beyond.
Yes.
We could spend all our time on that stuff because you could look at some of the work and all that kind of stuff. But you yourself, as an artist, have become, in a way, a chronicler of City Island. I mean, whenever I'm looking for pictures of City Island, I'll always say, hey, Ron, what do you got? And you always have of something going on. But it's not only pictures. You have little bricks and things that you've made. Talk about some of that stuff. And I don't know, in the middle of the night, does inspiration hit you? When do you come up with all this kind of interesting and unique stuff? And we're going to show you some of that in a moment.
Well, one thing tends to lead to the next thing, and so forth and so on. So it's an evolution of work. I started doing photo transfers, and like you said, the bricks. On my walks on the beach with my dog, I would see all these bricks that were either landfilled, and I thought, gee, wouldn't that be interesting to put a picture on? And I figured out the technique of photo transferring onto irregular surfaces, like a brick.
So you get the inspiration, and then it's, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but then it's always translating kind of the City Island vernacular through that into the artwork. Because if you want pictures of people who have lived in City Island, people who have done well at City Island, people who have created unique things, give Ron a call. Stop by the Focal Point Gallery.
It has been one of the major collection of my work has been City Island. Besides, an artist, especially, a photographer, will venture off in a lot of different directions. And besides doing the portraits, I like to experiment. I like all kinds of photography. And photography is the type of material that allows you to venture off into different areas.
Especially in this day and age. Now, speaking of photography, I want to show this photograph. This is the first photograph we have. This, you said, goes back 45 years. I swear, look at this. This is this is Mammy Yoakum. This is actually in the Focal Point Gallery.
Well, that was the very first Focal Point Gallery.
And that's you.
That's me, believe it or not. That's me. There, I lived in the back of my store. The address was 296 City Island Avenue.
Oh, so not the same place.
No, not the same place. I have 3 locations that I've had the gallery.
In 45 years.
45 years. And the place was huge. It was as big as a loft. So the front was the gallery, the middle was my studio, and all the way in the back is where I lived. It was great, but it didn't have heat or hot water.
Oh, minor detail.
And
so there you are.
Got a potbelly stove for the heat and put copper coils around the stove to get hot water, dog for company, and the cat for mice.
I want to give us some time to show some of the work. Now this, I love this project. This was, you said it was a plaster cast. We have like 2 or 3 photos of this. Tell us about this plaster cast. These were, because that's the beginnings of what became the show that's going to be the 45th anniversary show. So start with that. Here we go.
I was always interested in taking photography into a 3-dimensional realm. So I started doing plaster casts of actual people, using plaster gauze, photographing them beforehand, and then manipulating the image, creating designs.
So these are, and let's roll through these. I think there's another one too. These are actual people, and female obviously, from City Island, and they modeled for you, and you actually created these very colorful, unique and interesting plaster casts of who they are.
And they're not all City Islanders, but
oh, sorry.
just people are going to go wander around and say, who's that? Who's that?
Yeah, no. And then here's another one. And then you can see some of the other artwork that's on display. So now bring us up to date as far as, and folks, you can roll some of these. These are just unbelievable. This is the show that is the 45th anniversary show that we're about to see. This one, these are, these people are somewhere else on City Island right now. But tell me a little bit about what we're going to see next.
Next, I decided to transfer the image onto foil, a little thicker than tin foil. And after I transferred the image onto that, I crushed it, making it again.
Crushed it like literally,
bending it and pushing it together.
Look at this. What a great.
So that it again had a 3-dimensional look, and it was actually coming off of the board or the frame.
Are these people that you, like people modeled, or they gave you pictures? Or?
No, these are actual pictures of people in different situations that I'm in. I photograph a dance party that's by Felix Hernandez, and these are some pictures from those dance parties.
Wow. And you know what I like? Hold on to this one for a second, folks. What I like is, even though it's kind of crushed, there's a certain energy that comes out of them.
Well, I think it's a combination between the crushing, and then the reason I picked these particular portraits was the intensity of the people, the look.
They're all African American people, they seem to be.
Not all of them.
At least the ones we've seen.
Yeah.
And so are these, I mean, these are actual models, like plastic casting of what we saw, or they're actual flat?
They're flat.
Look how beautiful this is.
It's flat in the sense that once they're transferred, it's flat, but then it's taking like a piece of paper, crumbling it, and then letting it hold its position.
And so when we go there, and now this is when? Saturday is the big day.
Saturday, and if you want some wine and champagne.
Which we
we'll
always have when we go to the Focal Point Gallery.
We'll be from 12 to 5. But the show will be up for the whole month.
For the whole month. But you'll be able, look at this. Hold this one for a second. You could stare at it forever.
What's interesting is that it's taking it into different planes. So when you walk around it, it's hanging.
Right.
You can look at it from different angles. Instead of it being flat, you're seeing
there is a dimensional aspect to
yes,
it.
and that is something throughout my career in photography I've always been interested in trying to do.
All right, so I gotta ask you this. So you took these photographs at a dance party of some sort. Do these people know that they have been immortalized in this?
Probably not. Probably not.
And as I said that, look at this picture. They probably don't know. Well, maybe if they're watching BronxNet or they come by on Saturday. Look at this.
Some people will recognize themselves.
How interesting. Wow. Just tremendous. So, Ron, congratulations, 45 years. I don't know if either of us will be around for another 45. Look at this one.
It's been a wonderful journey, and I don't think I could have done it any place but on City Island.
I was just going to say, you are by and of City Island.
Yeah, right? No, that's the place where the dream came true.
We should have had champagne. Well, we'll do that Saturday. I'll stop by on Saturday. That'll be just wonderful. The great Ron Terner, Focal Point Gallery, 391?
No, 321.
321 City Island Avenue.
Counting down.
Counting down. Just get out there in City Island. Then the weekend after, I guess, is the Arts and Crafts Show in City Island.
I'll be out there.
Never not a reason to go to City
There's
Island.
something always happening on
and
City
you can
Island.
And you can always get a good meal too. All right, Ron, congratulations.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take a break. You take a break. We'll all take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll pound the rock a little bit. Don't go away.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
It's not always easy being a dad.
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family? This is the home of the most priceless kung fu artifacts.
But when you make an effort,
Dad, we're not supposed to touch anything. Oh, sorry. Go along, son.
it's always worth it.
Whoa, master!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I am gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Vivo's Do It Yourselfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old t-shirt.
It's not garbage, it's actually a brand new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Hey, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. Boy, that was just tremendous, and really I urge everybody to get out to City Island on Saturday, any day. You can stop by the Focal Point Gallery. Ron's always there, and you can enjoy some great artwork. But we're going to switch gears right now. The book is Pounding the Rock. The author is Marc Skelton, or better known as Coach, at Fannie Lou Hamer High School. Nice to have you with us, Coach Skelton.
Pleasure to be here.
Talk to me about why you would write a book about your experiences. 17-year coach at a Bronx High School.
Well, I thought it was
basketball, by the way, in case you didn't realize what pounding the rock means. Okay.
It's the logical follow-up to, winning a couple of championships. There's such a meaningful experience that I kind of wanted to make sure that I could share it with a lot of people, and so I was writing, and then one thing turned into another, and a book came out.
And all of a sudden we have a book. Had you always fancied yourself a writer? Like you said, gee, I could always do, if I wasn't coaching, after all, I could be a writer.
Absolutely. I think as a reader, you're always reading books, and you read and read until you understand what you'd like to read. And as a writer, I always fancied myself a writer. I just never wrote, and then eventually I started writing. So.
What is it like, and right now we're at the beginning of September, you're going to greet a whole new, not necessarily a whole new group, because you probably, I'm assuming you have some leftovers from last year, but you're greeting a new group in a Bronx high school where there are so many challenges for the kids, for the students, for the athletes, and of course for the coaches. What's it like? How do you characterize that experience, especially trying to really do something productive, like win some games?
Well, I think on the first day of tryouts, what we're going to ask the students is say, well, what's going to happen when you are critiqued? And if you take that criticism, you're allowed to get better, then we'll have a wonderful relationship. But within that, not everybody likes to get critiqued. Right? Criticism is difficult to
especially
achieve.
For young men who have some pride. I mean, in many cases, they've had difficult times getting to where they are right now. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
I don't want to hear it.
No, but I do. I've usually 12 young men who not only want to get better, but thrive on that criticism. And we call that criticism coaching.
Among the things that emerge from the book is the culture of this particular school. Talk a little bit about, and I think it's instructive because, boy, if we could bottle this up and put it around all over I'll start with the Bronx and then the city, we might do better. Talk about the culture of Fannie Lou Hamer and how it works symbiotically with the team and with the coach.
Yeah, I mean, Fannie Lou Hamer High School is one of the most unique institutions on the planet, and you're absolutely right. If we could franchise it, we'd be the world would be better off if we could. There's within a culture you have language, you have behavior, and what I love about the school is it's also home for a lot of people, not just teachers, but the staff and the students and alumni, and so it becomes a very special place.
When you talk about home, what do you refer to when you say home for them? I mean, that could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Generally, it's a positive thing.
100%. And I think when you think of home, you think that there's people who care about you, right? And you can go away for a little bit and you can come back. And there's people who are, within family, you can misbehave, and the next day the relationship is not ruined. And I think that's
a fascinating way to look at it. I have to acknowledge my own friend Nancy Mann, who had been the principal. You say she never left, although technically
Correct.
She did retire. What was her vision like that helped you and helped establish this feeling of home?
Well, I think with Nancy's vision and what she was able to teach me as a young teacher was that the challenges that we're going to face on a daily basis can be overcome. And I think with just this persistence of, and hence the title, this idea of pounding the rock, where on the first day, the lessons may not go as well, but on the, maybe on the 100th, or maybe in the third year or the fourth year, if you continue, sorry to use the title again, but pounding the rock.
Go ahead. It's your book, man. Come on, there you go. We got it on the screen there.
That things are eventually, going to crack, and then you're going to end up making a gigantic impact on someone's life.
How much of the job, and I'm not necessarily even talking about winning, because you always want to win, but of course there are goals as a high school coach that may be a little larger than winning. How much of the job in working with these youngsters is basketball versus other things, whether it be dealing with them and their home lives, them and their attitudes toward their peers or teammates, and all those other issues that might come up, even their academics.
Right.
I mean, can you give it a percentage?
I mean, I think this set is a great example. Like, you have a team of players.
Are you talking about here on
right now,
in
right?
BronxNet television?
And I'm watching this, and I'm watching it unfold, and I see you have some team members, and everyone's treating each other with respect. And I think within our teamwork, is exactly right. You want to be a good teammate, and that comes first. And
that comes first.
Absolutely.
How hard is that to teach or to develop?
I've been blessed with some great players over the last 13 years, and what those guys have done is they've passed that on. And so there's actually, at this point, we'll have some new kids on the team this season, but I'm confident that the veterans coming back will take care of that right away. Yeah.
I'm going to use the Rolaids commercial. How do you spell success? Obviously, you win a championship, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But how do you know you've had what measuring stick do you use? Is it growth of the players? You want to have a winning record. I mean, there's no doubt about that. That you don't play to fail. But how do you look back at the at graduation time or the end of a year and say, this wasn't? I mean, look, 17 years. You've probably had some good ones and bad ones. Talk to me about how you measure that.
Well, I think at the end of the season, whether we win or lose, you can't gauge the win or loss at that moment. And so what happens, I would have decided that over years, when you see players who are in college now and just send a text saying, "Coach, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that time."
I'm getting a little verklempt here.
Well, no, but because there's guys that say,
and you get that, right?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. And it could be a guy who, a former player, Jamal Lampkin, just sent me a text that he just got a raise this week. He's like, "Coach." At
his job?
Yeah.
He said, what kind of job?
He's a computer analysis. And he said, "I got that job because you threw me out of practice when I was a sophomore. So now I learned how to, manage my time, but also know that I have to get to work on time." So.
Wow. They say, coaches say all the time, as much as I've taught the youngsters, they've taught me. What have you learned from 17 years of coaching? And by the way, we're not putting him in the grave yet. He's still out there. He's put his
still there. Yeah,
put his team together. What have you learned all these years?
I think one of the lessons that I love to retell myself is that they're young, right? And they're young men who love the game. And what I really want them to do is continue loving the game.
The game.
The game. I watched you watching the Mets when I walked in, and you love the game.
I do. Oh,
and I want.
So true. It's more about the game and the structure of the game than anything else.
Right. And
thank you so much for recognizing that.
And I want them to continue loving it. And it's the worst thing a coach could do is to remove the love from the game. So I want to enhance it.
Then let's talk about pounding the rock and talk about the nature of basketball as a city game, as a community builder, as a builder of men. And listen, we're talking about boys because he teaches boys, but girls are absolutely not exempt and really right part of this. Talk about the game itself as a builder and developer of young people.
Well, like I said earlier, I think when you have 12 guys on a team, you have to make sure that there's roles, and right now in the control room or in a school, and that's probably another thing that
everybody's got a job.
Sure, but Nancy helped us with that, right? Like, so if my job is to teach history, but I may have to plug in and actually teach computer science, or I may have to teach some math at some point, and that's okay. You have to sometimes expand your role, but also accept your role.
Championships. Let's talk about that. Now, did you win them? Where did they play? Were those played at the Garden?
I wish. No. The PSL B division plays.
Oh, the B division.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So they only give the Garden to the double A's.
That's not, which is not correct.
Yeah,
but
we should fix that.
So tell me about preparing for those and then actually seeing it in front of your own eyes like a goal that you could barely dream.
So I think my first championship was in 2013, and that team was again, one of the most special teams I've ever coached. But they would tell you the championship was won on the first day of practice.
Really?
And so the preparation started the prior season. Now with other teams, I think you don't have that many days between the semifinal win and the championship. Sometimes you have 2-3 days. So in the back of your mind, you have to have like, well, if these are their 5-6 playoff games, this is how we're going to treat each victory in each practice. And the worst thing you can do is get too high or too low. So we want to make sure that once we win, we're ready for the next game.
You didn't quite answer the question. I'm going to push him one more time.
Sure.
But I understand that not too high or too low, and you want to still coach it. How do you channel that excitement so that it's productive and not destructive? Because everybody's excited, including the coach, no matter what he says.
So after the championship game, or
just going into the game?
I think there's 32 minutes in a game, and you definitely have to focus, because nerves, excitement, the vision of potentially winning are all distractions. So you definitely have to just kind of focus on the game plan.
And then when you do it and the clock counts down and the score is what it is, what's the? It's wild, right?
I look for my wife.
Do you?
I look for my wife, right? And I make eye contact with my wife, and I have 2 daughters, and usually they run down onto the court.
And that makes it for you.
There it is.
Because there it is.
Right.
Well, now I got all choked up, but listen, the book is pounding the rock. If you love the Bronx, if you love basketball, if you love high school, if you love great teachers and coaches, you got to get the book and you got to check it out. Available on all wherever
local
books
bookstores, Amazon.
Great, great. Is there going to be a follow-up after you win the next 4 championships?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, absolutely. Hope
you
so.
know what? I'm going to come out and see a game. Wouldn't that be nice?
Please do. Okay.
Great. Good luck in the season.
I appreciate it.
Good luck with the book, folks. We got to pound the rock. That's what we do in the BX. It's the city game. Thank you so much, Marc Skelton. Say hello to all our buddies at Fannie Lou Hamer High School.
I will. Okay.
Folks, that's it. The Bronx Buzz. What a great show. What a great time. And I got all choked up at the end. And ain't that the way it's supposed to be? Congressman Eliot Engel is our guest on Bronx Talk Monday night.